Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Thursday, October 20th at Keeneland. Tom Leach here along with Jim Goodman, Director of Mutuals and simulcasting for Keeneland, as we focus in on the Grade 3 Sycamore Stakes that headlines the Thursday card. Got a nice full field, couple of trainers that historically do well in these races, and Graham Motion and Mike Maker that are well stocked in this race. Who did you land on?
Well, let's see. I picked two Mike Maker horses. It's kind of hard to get away from them. But Graham Motion is my third choice, so not many surprises here. Although Tim Glashaw's horse, 8 Bullard's Alley, I like as well. But my choice here would be, and we talk about this all the time, they ran out of letters, Green Grass of Wyoming. I'm still going to call it Green Grass of Wyoming if I were calling the race. It sounds kind of stupid otherwise. But he ran in the Kentucky Turf Cup at Kentucky Downs. I'm just going to assume that he didn't like the yielding turf, or he didn't like the up and down or whatever, because coming into that race, he went off at 3-1. He just came out of the Arlington Million where he got beat by a length and a half to Monday Least, and he won 2 in a row before that, including a Grade 3 at Arlington, which is his win at this distance of 1.5 miles, and you always look at that in these races as well. So Green Grass of Wyoming is my pick here, but I also could use Bigger Picture, the other maker who almost won the Old Friends at Kentucky Downs. He obviously liked it a little bit better, got beat by Flatline, and again, buyer figures in the mid-90s, very consistent wherever he runs. Renowned for Elizabeth Voss. He had a nice little race at Laurel last out and won at 1.5 miles, so 3 for 5 at the distance. Up with the Birds, the Graham Motion horse that is coming off Woodbine races, and Bullard's Alley, who actually ran well at Kentucky Downs in that same race that the Big Hoss won, that Green Grass of Wyoming did not run well in. One Go All Go is a horse that I think is going to go in the race on Wednesday, and as long as he scratches there, he's got a shot here. Could get an easy lead and could go a long way, but I think he's going to go in the Wednesday card. It's a little easier. My pick is Green Grass of Wyoming, Bigger Picture, Renown, Up with the Birds, and Bullard's Alley behind that in Exactas and Tries.
I used all of those except for Renown, and I used them with Street Fashion. I'm taking a little bit of a reach there, but I just like the fact that this horse ran a career best buyer last time of 94, and so just trending in the right direction. And it's a marathon race for Graham Motion, and just kind of taking the other Motion horse. Just seems like Up with the Birds I started to go there, and I just kind of feel like he's just past his best, and just can't quite get there anymore. But maybe this is the type of group he could win with, so I've got to use him. Bullard's Alley, I'm like you. I like that one a little bit. Green Grass of Wyoming, I think probably does bounce back. That's the one I was first going to go with until I talked myself into Street Fashion, and then Bigger Picture. So all 5 of those I'm going to use on my Pick 4 ticket that'll start in the 6th race. And I took 30 days in June for the win pick, just coming out of some good fields, but didn't have a strong opinion. English Dancer, My Sweet Stella, and Unfading Beauty were others I was going to use. I liked Holiday Bonus a good bit in the 7th race. Not enough to single. I'm also going to use Thirst for Life, but I think Holiday Bonus bounces back and runs really well. I heard Graham Motion in an interview before the Futurity and was really talking up that horse. I mentioned all 5 in the feature, and then in the 9th race, I'm going to go just 2 deep. First-time starters, Bethel Wildcat, who's really putting up some fast works for Graham Motion, and Muzzy on the Move, another first-time starter. So I'm going to take 2 firsters in the last leg. How about you?
I'm going to start off with a single, and My Sweet Stella is my single in the 6th race. 6 horse for Robbie Alvarado and Wayne Lucas. I really like that race at Saratoga. 3 horses came back out of that race to win, including La Cornell, who was very impressive here opening weekend. And that race alone, and then she comes back and Churchill catches a good turf course, and gets beat by half a length, but probably needed that a little bit. Stretches back out to mile 16th, which seems to be her best distance, and I like My Sweet Stella a lot there. I would also use, in a bigger ticket, I would use Chilling Kitten, first-time starter for Maker, and Gypsy Gray, a first-time starter for Eddie Keneally. But I think of the horses that have run, I think My Sweet Stella is a legitimate single here. that lets me go a little bit deeper in other races, and I would take all in the 7th race. I couldn't narrow that down very well. I like Thirst for Life. I like Society Bow, but I don't like them enough to take a stand. So I think that's the race I'm going to spread in. I'm going to go all there. Going to only go too deep with Bigger Picture, the Maker horse, and Greengrass of Wyoming, my top pick in the feature race. And then going a little bit deep in the last race with the 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. I think that race in particular is wide open, and it's Bethel Wildcat for Grand Motion, the one you mentioned, Strike Quiet. Going to get my notes back here. I've got too many pages. 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 was Scarf It Down, Flight Crew for Francisco Torres, who would probably be my top choice, and the outside horse Feet of Humor for Robbie Alvarado, Neil Howard. So I'll go 5 deep there. So that's my pick 4, starting out with a single, the 6 horse, and with 1, 3, with 3, 4, 5, 6, 12.
Best of luck on your wagers on the Thursday card, and we'll be back for a Friday podcast on the In the Money podcast here at KeenelandSelect.com.